Class 11. Welcome to the online tutorial sessions for economics. I am Avnash Lambert, your economics guru, and today we are going to continue our third chapter of statistics, which is collection of data. In today's video, we are going to start with the general principles while designing a questionnaire. So while preparing a questionnaire, there are few things which you need to know, which you need to keep in mind so that you can prepare the best questionnaire, so that you can have the best of the best response from the respondents. Now let's start. The first general principle which you need to know is that covering letter. The letter which you are going to make, it will give the brief explanation that why you are making that questionnaire, what is the reason for that, and how the investigator wants you to react on the questions from the respondent. So the covering letter which is on the questionnaire, which is about the questionnaire, has all the details of that questionnaire. Now, second one, the number of questions must be small as possible. There should not be very lengthy questions. They must be very small and precise questions. Fine. They should be very small questions. And third one, those questions should be simple and short questions. They should require very few words to answer them. There should not be there the long questions. There must be only one word or MCQ type questionnaire so that the respondent feel easy while filling that. Fourth one, avoid questions requiring calculation. There must not be any question which requires lots of calculation. Fine. So there the investigator must keep in mind that no questions which require calculation should be asked. Fifth one, no personal questions should be asked. Not such question which makes the respondent a little bit uncomfortable. So personal questions should be avoided. Sixth one, questions should be logically arranged. For example, in the questionnaire it is being asked about how many children you have firstly, and on the next question it's been asked, are you married or not? So it will be very funny for the questionnaire. So it must be like that. Firstly, the investigator must ask about whether you are married or not, and then after that sub question should be there where it should be mentioned how many kids or how many children. So the sequence of the questions must be logically arranged. They should be in a logical manner. Seventh one, cross-examination. The investigator must check whether the respondent is giving the correct answer or not. For example, he must ask about the respondent's age first, and he can cross-check that age with the DOB. He can ask the date of birth of that person. Then he can calculate whether the respondent is giving the correct answers or not. The last one, the questionnaire should be in a very attractive format. It should be good. Proper scaling, proper lining, the fonts, the size of that questionnaire, that everything must look attractive. Fine. So they must look good so that the respondent feels excited. This is the thing, this is the questionnaire I must fill. It's look good. So these are these principles, and this format, if you are preparing these questionnaire with these principles, then this format will give you definitely a very good response. Now students, let's come to the next topic. Next topic, students, is census survey and sample survey. There are two more methods by which you can have the survey, have an investigation. Now, it's a most common question which is being asked in your class 11 statistics. Census survey versus sample survey. Basically, you have to tell the basic difference. Now, census survey. When statistical investigation is done or conducted, wherein the data is collected from each and every element of the population. Now, what is each and every element of the population? Suppose I need to conduct an investigation of what is the average height of class 11C. What is the average height of class 11C? And suppose there are total 10 students in the class. Now, these are the 10 students, and I need to conduct an investigation where I need to know the average height of the 11C class. Now, if I am doing the census survey, under the census survey, I am going to each and every person, and I will scale their height, I will measure their height, and then I will note it down in my diary on my register, and then I will conduct my survey. Fine. So each and every element of the population means for my investigation this is the total population. Only 10 people are my population, and these 10 students are the elements of this population. Or sometimes this one term universe, instead of population, universe term is also used. So if I am going to conduct the investigation by going to each and every person of the population of the universe, then that survey or that investigation, my students, is known as census survey. Understood? Now, what is sample survey? Sample survey is when only some representative, only some of them, only some items of a population are selected and data collected from these items are used. So this method is known as sample survey. Now, what if instead of the whole class I need to conduct the survey of the whole city? Then in that case I won't be going to each and every person of the city. In that case I will be doing some sort of sampling. Some random people I will select and then I will do the survey. Take example of this classroom only. I have no time, I have only 1 minute and I need to conduct a survey of the average height of this class. Then I will just randomly move to that class, go to the class, and I will randomly select this one and this student. And these 3 students will be my samples. And according to their height, I will conduct their survey. Their heights will be used for conducting my survey. So these items will be used. These 3 fellows will be used for conducting my survey. Only some representative, only 3 of them have been selected. Only these 3 are representing the total population. Fine. So let's read it out once again. When only some representative items of a population are selected and data collected from these items are used, then this method is called sample survey. I hope you have cleared. Now let's come to the next topic. Students, the next topic is basically the differentiation between census method and sample method. You all have understood what is census method and what is sampling method. Fine. Now let's have the differences on few bases. Now the first basis of comparison is the coverage area. Now the census method, because you know that census method gets the inquiry done from each and every element of the population. So it covers a huge area. It is extensive. It goes to a wider coverage. But in case of sample method, because we conduct our inquiry with the few representatives, only few selected items, then it covers the limited area. So therefore there is a limited coverage. So this is our coverage. Fine. Now let's come to the second basis of comparison, which is suitability. Now when we do the census method and when we do the sample method, so if the area of investigation is small, then we go for the census method. But if the area of investigation is very large, then we go for sample method. So when the area of investigation, suppose I have to do a survey in a classroom of 30 students, then I can arrange the whole class for the investigation. But if I need to conduct the inquiry for the whole city or the whole state, then I will do the sample survey. Fine. Now the third one, economy. We have done the suitability. Third one is economy, the third basis of comparison. Now economy means in terms of money and in terms of time. Finally, the census method, because it covers a wider coverage, it takes lots of time, and because you go to each and every element of the investigation of the population, it takes some time and you need to travel. That's why it becomes costlier. It is costlier in terms of money, and also it is time consuming because you are going to each and every element of the population. When we come to the sampling method, it is cheaper because you select only few representatives. In terms of money and it requires less time, because you can randomly select few representatives or items and you can conduct your inquiry. So it takes lesser time in comparison to census method. Now, the fourth basis of comparison is reliability. How much you can trust it. Because you are conducting your sample survey, your investigation to each and every element, then it is highly reliable. You can trust it, you can blindly trust it. But in the sample method, because you are selecting only few items, few representatives, then it is less reliable or not reliable. Fine. So this is our sample method. Now the fifth basis of comparison is nature of item. What kind of items are there in this survey and sample survey? Now when we conduct census survey, under it the nature of items are heterogeneous, means there are different kind of items. Therefore we need to conduct the inquiry from each and every person. Each and every person in the census method is different. They are heterogeneous in nature. They have different qualities. Therefore we need to conduct the survey with each and every element of the population. So the nature of item of census method is heterogeneous. And in the sample method, because the items are homogeneous, they are almost the same. Most of are having equal qualities. So we take only few elements which are having the common qualities and then we do the survey. So we do the sample survey when the items are homogeneous in nature. Now students, the last basis of comparison is accuracy. How much accurate are these methods? So because census method we do the survey from each and every item of the population, our investigation is highly accurate because we have done it with each and every element. But in the sample method, you haven't used each and every element. Instead, you have selected only few items, few representative items. Therefore, it is less accurate. So students, these are your differences. You must learn it by heart, and we have completed this topic. Now let's come to the next topic. The last topic for today is methods of sampling. So there are basically two methods. First method is random sampling and second method is non-random sampling. Now students, what is random sampling? Basically it refers to a method in which every item in the universe has equal chance of being selected. Fine. In which each and every element or every item of that population of that universe has equal chance. I can select anyone. I am not biased. I am not judgmental. I won't judge anyone. Instead, each and every student or each and every item of that population of that universe has equal chance of getting selected as the sample. Now let's take an example of a classroom where I need to conduct an inquiry for the average height or average weight of the students of the class. Now this is the whole sitting arrangement of the class. This is the students in the blue are the first benchers, green one are the middle row benchers, and the red ones are the back benchers. Now I am unbiased. For me, each and every student is equal. I can select any one of them. So each and every person in this classroom has equal chance of getting selected for the survey. Now, for example, I might select this fellow. I need 5 students. So I am selecting each and every student has an equal chance of getting selected. So I have selected these 5 fellows and I can conduct my inquiry now. Fine. These are the 5 students and I can start my inquiry with these 5 students. Was I judgmental? Was I biased? No, I wasn't biased. Instead, I was unbiased and I wasn't judgmental. I didn't judge anyone, and therefore each and every element of this universe had the equal chance of getting selected. Understood? Now, the second one is non-random sampling. Now, what is non-random sampling? It is a method, it refers to a method in which selection of a sample depends upon the judgment of investigator. It depends upon the mindset of the investigator, what he is thinking before selecting the samples. Suppose this is also classroom, but this is the commerce section, the most indisciplined class of the school. Fine, most indisciplined. And I don't want to ask the survey from the backbenchers or the middle benchers. I am just going to select the survey from the first benchers. Only first benchers are going to be selected. Fine. So in this blue line, I selected my 5 students, and therefore I have selected these 5 and I can start my investigation. Because I was judgmental, I was saying that this class is the most naughtiest class. So I was judgmental. It depends on my thinking capacity, on my judgment. Therefore I selected only first benchers and I rejected the backbenchers and the middle row benchers. So I selected the first benchers and therefore I was biased. I was judgmental. I judged them. So therefore it is non-random sampling. I didn't select it just randomly. I was selecting on the basis of my judgment. I was being biased. So if there is bias or judgment of the investigator, then that sampling is the non-random sampling. And if each and every item of the universe has the equal chance of being selected, then that is called random sampling. Now students, this random sampling can be divided into 2 parts. The first one is simple or unrestricted random sampling. The second one is restricted random sampling. Now there are two divisions of random sampling, and this second division can be further subdivided into 4 more parts, which is stratified random sampling, systematic random sampling, cluster random sampling, and multi-stage random sampling. Now these subdivisions we are going to study in the next video. So for today, this was your whole concept. These were your topics. I hope you have prepared, you have taken the screenshots. If not, take a screenshot and take the screenshot of previous notes also of this video, so that you can complete your notes. Now for today, that's all for this video. I hope we'll meet soon. So stay home, stay safe, and see you soon.